Today, before starting the topic, we will recite some prayers. These prayers are in Sanskrit. Actually, Sanskrit is a very amazing language. In fact, nowadays scientists and many researchers, they have published many research papers on Sanskrit language, how it helps all of us in developing very good focus, very good determination, and a mindful control for all of us. So Sanskrit, reciting Sanskrit verses is very amazing. And what to speak of if prayers are there in Sanskrit that invokes auspiciousness as well. So we'll start. Om Agyan Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gaurvani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarane Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Yeah, so now since we have done prayers, we can begin with the topic. So now I will share some statistics for health crisis. I'm sure many of you must be aware as well. Nowadays we see that air pollution is on hike. Like here you can see on the screen, 9 out of 10 breathe high levels of pollutants are there in the atmosphere today. 80% of the urban areas exposed to bad air quality levels. 7 million people die every year because of the effect of air pollution. Now, coming on to water pollution, 14 billion pounds of plastics are dumped into the ocean every year. 80% of the wastewater contaminates groundwater. Like you might be knowing, we have our groundwater reserves, but they are getting depleted day by day. Then humans add 1.2 trillion gallons of untreated wastewater into water supply each year. Like you might be knowing that nowadays industries, they throw a huge amount of effluents into water bodies. That is not at all useful. In fact, it is very harmful. And then humans add 1.2 trillion gallons of untreated wastewater, same. And by 2050, that is around after 30 years, 47% of people on earth will struggle to find drinking water, which is very true. In fact, nowadays also, if many of you might have traveled in trains, in flights, or in any other transportation aid, you might have seen that nowadays water is so costly. In fact, the different companies we are getting of water bottles, Bisleri, Kinley, Rail Neer, so many things are there. So why it is? Because day by day, water is getting polluted. And not just water, everything actually. So, we will take a very beautiful verse from Bhagavad Gita. I'm sure many of you would be liking also to recite the verses because they are in very beautiful Sanskrit language. So, here is a verse from Bhagavad Gita, 6th chapter, 16th verse. It says, Nati ashnatas atu yogosti nache kantam anashnata nachati swapna silasya jagrato neva cha Arjuna. So the translation says that there is no possibility of one's becoming regulated, O Arjuna, if one eats too much or eats too little, sleeps too much or does not sleep enough. So now a very beautiful point is being told here, that if somebody do things in an extreme zone means that if somebody is doing thing enough, like too much, like here it is written, if somebody eats too much, or if we do it too less, or if somebody eats too less. Similarly, if somebody sleeps too much, or if he sleeps too less. So both the things are not good. Similarly, we have one more verse from Bhagavad Gita. This is a very special verse. In fact, all of you, if you want, you can remember it also. Remembering Sanskrit is very good for us. In fact, our memory, concentration, and our entire focus will increase very much if we can learn some Sanskrit verses. So here is the verse. This verse is just the next verse of what we have just recited. This is 6th chapter, 17th verse. We have recited just now 6th chapter, 16th verse. So this verse says, if you want, you can recite with me as well. It says, Yuktahara viharasya, Yukta cheshtasya karmasu, Yukta swapna vibhodasya, Yogo bhavati dukkhaha. So here, Lord Krishna is saying to Arjuna a secret for all of us actually. He says that he who is regulated in his habits of eating, sleeping, recreation and work can mitigate all the material pains by practicing the yoga system. So what Krishna is telling is very simple. We just have to be regulated. So I would request each one of you to write down this word regulation, because regulation will going to be a key word all throughout our discussion. So we see that what is regulation? Now, I just told you that please write down this word regulation in your notepad or somewhere. But now we will discuss what is regulation. So regulation, I will give you a technical definition of it. It says that systematic efforts to direct thoughts, feelings, and action towards the attainment of one's goal. Now, in case you don't understand it, don't worry. I will explain you in a much simpler language as well. How many of you have seen a tap in our bathroom? We have taps. Yes. So that tap has got one knob by which I can regulate the water which comes to my bucket. Now I can increase the knob also. I can open it or I can close it. Now that will affect the quantity of water which comes through that tap, right? Yes. So similarly, simple terms, that is called regulation. Means when we try to do something in a controlled manner under a desired goal, that is called regulation. Similarly, how many of you have seen a gas regulator which is there above the gas cylinder in your kitchen? I'm sure many of you must have seen it. So in that thing also is called gas regulator. So why it is called gas regulator? Because it regulates the supply of LPG gas into our gas stove. So simple, regulation means just a controlled desired effect of anything. So you can always remember these two examples. First one is of a tap in bathroom and second one is of a gas regulator in your kitchens, like that. In case you have not seen a gas regulator, you can go to kitchen and you can ask your mother. She will show you like that. Now, similarly, this is a very important slide. Similarly, we need regulation in three things in our life. Now, I would again request each one of you, in case you are making notes, you can write down these three things. So the first is eating. We should be regulated in eating in our life. Second one is sleeping. We should be very regulated in sleeping in our life. And the third one is recreation, that we should be very regulated in recreation as well. Now I will tell you how each of the things will signify a very beautiful lesson. But before that, I would like to tell you a story. So I want each one of your attention, full focus on this story. Once upon a time, there was a sage. Sage means he was a saint. He used to go to different house in a village and he used to ask for some food like that. And he's very spiritually elevated. Means he's a very great person. Now he used to go to each house in a village. Once what happened, when he came to one house, he saw that from outside, that was a very ordinary house. Just a kind of hut was there and it looks very old and appear as if people who lives there are very poor. But to his surprise, when he went inside the house, that lady which comes out of the home, she told that, my dear saint, please come inside our house and accept the food which I will offer to you. And the saint said, okay, what is the problem? I will come and take food at your home. And when he went inside, he was fully amazed to see the different objects in his home. He saw that they have brought food for him in a golden plate. Like you might be seeing nowadays, we take food in a steel plate. But for him, that lady brought very amazing food, very opulent food in a golden plate. And then he took the food to his heart's content. And then he slept for some time and then he moved from that house. But what happened? That lady, she saw that golden plate was missing. And then she was running and was trying to find out that sage, thinking that he has taken that golden plate. Now what happened? That sage said, no, I have not taken that golden plate. But that lady, she told, I think you only have taken. And then he checked his bag and surprisingly, he found that plate inside his bag. But he was not knowing that. He told, I don't know how that plate came into my bag. And then he asked one very nice question to that lady. He asked, my dear lady, you tell me what your husband do. And that lady told that my husband is a thief. He simply go and steal things from different people and he accumulates in our house. And then the sage told one very amazing thing. He told that, you see, because I accepted food cooked by you and you are using all the things of stealing, like after thievery you are using, that is my consciousness became polluted. And even though I was not knowing, I had taken that golden plate into my bag. And after hearing this, that lady, she understood a very nice lesson. She understood that whatever food we cook and we eat, it very much depends on who has cooked that food and with what consciousness. Because that lady has cooked that food with stolen items, which his husband has brought because of thievery. And that is why the consciousness of sage also became polluted. And he unknowingly took that golden plate with him. And then after that, he asked sorry from that lady and he gave that golden plate very happily. He told, I want to live a very simple life. I don't want to become thief. But we all can learn a very beautiful lesson from this. That eating, whatever we eat, what kind of food we eat, who has cooked it, has a very profound effect on our consciousness, on our thinking, like that. So now, too much, all of you can see the slide. Too much eating causes sleep. This you might have experienced also. Too less causes hunger. If I will not eat sufficiently, then I'll be hungry. And eat which is healthy and nourishing. Similarly, don't eat junk food or too oily food or too fatty food. Generally, to eat junk food, burger or pizza or chips or hot dog, all these kind of things are very tasty to take. But I will tell you a very amazing thing, that these things are called fast food. Why they are called fast food? Because they are very fast to take, they are very fast to empty our pocket, but they are very slow to digest. In fact, many people, they get digestion issues and they have to go to so many doctors and so many hospitals just to get relieved because they have eaten junk food. So we should be very careful not to eat junk food too much. Sometimes it is okay, but it should be regulated. And if we can avoid it fully, that would be very nice. So now we will come to sleep. Yes. So according to Ayurveda, 3 hours of rest. Now, my dear friends, I am going to tell you a very amazing statistics. If you want, again, I will say you can write it down in your notepad. 3 hours of rest between 9 o'clock in the night till 12 o'clock in the night is equivalent to 6 hours of rest. And this has been proved by many doctors and many like researchers who have done research on this. Understanding that if we sleep in night at 9 o'clock till 12 o'clock, that is equivalent to sleeping 6 hours. So these 3 hours have transformed into 6 hours now, like that. Similarly, if we sleep from 12 to 3, that is night 12 o'clock to morning 3 o'clock, that is equivalent to 3 hours. That means if somebody sleeps between 12 to 3, he has slept for 3 hours. Similarly, if I will sleep after 3 o'clock till 6 o'clock, it will be equivalent to sleeping half of the time, that is 1.5 hours. But if somebody sleeps after 6 o'clock, then that causes disease in one's body. So this, I am not saying this by scientists, and it is already there in our Ayurveda. So we should there is one saying by former American president, Mr. Benjamin Franklin. He has told that early to bed, early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. So this is indeed very true, that if somebody will sleep early to bed, and he will get up early to rise, makes him healthy, wealthy, and wise. So it is all benefit if we can take rest early and can get up early in the morning. Now, the same thing as I told you, early to bed, early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. So we should train ourselves to sleep and rise early. Now I will tell you recreation. I have told you 2 things till now. I have told you about eating, that we should always eat food which are very fresh. We should not eat junk food, and we should especially eat food which is cooked in our home. Our home food is very special. If we will eat somewhere outside in a hotel, that will empty our pocket. That means it will take it will take quite a large sum of money. At the same time, it will cause bad health to us. But if we eat food which is cooked by our mothers at our home, then it will be very helpful and very beneficial for us in all respects. Similarly, I have told you about eating. I have also told you about sleeping. Early to bed, early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. Now I will tell you about the third thing, that is recreation. So now we will see what is the meaning of the word recreation and what is recreation, like what kind of recreation we should do. Now, I would request all of you to wait for 2 seconds and just see the screen which I am sharing with all of you. Now, one amazing thing you can see is that all these activities which is mentioned on the screen right now in front of you is not recreation. Somebody say, I am enjoying my life, but actually this is not healthy enjoyment. This is degrading enjoyment. Now I will tell you a very amazing thing. So my dear friends, here you can see a person, a child, he is very much busy playing a video game. But we know how much time it will take and how much our eyes becomes very dim. In fact, we have to go to doctor at times to put a specs because of that. Similarly, if someone is smoking are so injurious to health that it will take away the entire immunity system along with the health of our lungs. The thing which supplies blood to all my veins, to all my nerves, to entire body, the oxygen and blood is supplied with the help of lungs. They are fully gone if somebody do smoking. Similarly, if somebody all day long just sits in front of TV and just watch it, then there is no benefit actually, because if he is doing it too much, then he is spoiling his health, and also he is spoiling his very valuable time which he could have used to solve his value education contest booklet. and with the help of Bhagavad Gita, like that. Similarly, here you can see if somebody is taking drugs, that is also very harmful. In fact, health goes bad so much that if somebody will take drugs for a long time, he will die for sure. Similarly, we should not spend so much time on social media also. Why? Because it takes our valuable time, and at times it is not very useful also. Similarly, we should not have dangerous habits like playing with guns and all. So all these are harmful recreation. Now I will tell you what is real recreation. So now here you can read on the screen, you can see all of you that walking, doing yoga asanas, swimming, playing kabaddi, kho-kho, these kind of games, wrestling, and are the recreation activities which we can do. Similarly, these recreation activities are so amazing that they boost our physical health, our mental peace, strength, and vigor. So all these activities we should do. So this is called healthy recreation. Now I will show you something related to work. So I have told you 3 things till now about eating, about sleeping, and about recreation. Now I will tell you the 4th thing, that is work. Now for all of us, work is to study, because all of us are students right now. For me, I am working in a company, so I am a working professional. For me, the work is to work for a company. If someone, let's say, is working in some government sector, for him the work is to work there. But for all of us, the work is to study nicely. Now I will tell you very amazing thing which you can apply in your life and see great results. So here you can see, you are able to see one ladder here. I believe all of you can see it. The first step says set goal. So whatever we want to do in our life, we should try to set a goal for it. Then we should plan. We should plan very nicely what I want to do. Then we should get to work. We should apply that planning which I just did. And then we should stick to it, and then we should reach goal. So now, in case many of you are not able to understand this, what I have told, no worries. This all things you will get in your value education contest booklet also. Everything will be there. But for now, in case you want to write it down, you can write down. We have shared 4 things: eating, sleeping, recreation, and work. How we can study very effectively. Yeah. So the more you sweat in peace, the less you bleed in war. This is a saying in our Indian army where they say, if I will work very hard in peace, means if I can do my preparation very well, then the examination I can perform very well. Now I'm sure all of you must be having some experience of exams where you could perform very well, but somehow or other you could not. So why it happens? Also, many people say that I did some silly mistake in exam. That is the most frequent term people used. Oh, that was a silly mistake I did, like that. Or I could not remember that formula. I could not remember that answer, like that. So many things happen. So why it happens? Because we have not prepared that well, which we could have done. Like the saying goes, the more we bleed in peace, the less we do in war, like that. So this is a very golden line, my dear friends. All of you, you should apply it in your life, and we should work very hard, and we should work very smart as well, along with hard work, like that. So here is one quote: you can't fly, run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward, like that. I believe all of you understand this, that in our life, whatever situation may be there, I should continue doing my work. That does not matter in what quantity I am doing, but I should keep doing that. Similarly, there is one inspirational quote by Abraham Lincoln. He says, always bear in mind that that your own resolution to succeed is more important than any other. That means if you have fixed some goal, if you have made some resolution, then that will help very much, like that. So yeah, that was the discussion for today. I have shown you that how different habits in us can make us very much regulation. So would you like to repeat? What was the first one? You all can write in the chat box. What was the first habit? Yes, eating. Very good. What was the second habit? Sleeping. Very good. What was the third one? Recreation. Amazing. And what was the fourth one? Work. Correct. And I have shown you a ladder in which it was very much mentioned. Yeah. Also, I have shown you a ladder in which it was mentioned how I can set my goals and I can achieve them, like that. So now I will tell you our last story, a very small story. I'm sure all of you will appreciate it. So the story goes like this. And by the way, it's a real life story, which I'm going to tell you. Once upon a time, or it should not be once upon a time, it's a recent activity. Once what happened, one teacher of a school, she ate chicken, full stomach chicken, in the dread of night, at night 12 o'clock, and then she slept. Now what happened next day? Immediately she had to go to a hospital where she has suffered 2 heart attacks. Now because of those heart attacks, she died. Now that's what happens actually. It's a real life story. And you know what was the age of that teacher? That age was only 27 years. Now at such young age, people are getting heart attacks actually. Why it is? Because we are not regulated in our eating, sleeping, recreation and work. So I believe all of you might be remembering that shloka as well from Bhagavad Gita. That is 6.17. So I will again recite for all of you. It says, Yuktahara viharasya, Yukta chestasya karmasu, Yukta swapna vibhodasya, Yogo bhavati dukkha. It says that anyone who is regulated in his eating, sleeping, recreation and work, for him there will be no problems in this world. And whatever he wants to achieve in his life, he can do that. So thank you very much. Yeah, I have stopped the screen sharing, but now I have a very special activity for all of you. Now for those who have their value education contest booklet with them, and in case you don't have, I'll be sharing my screen with all of you. Now we are going to solve this section of health and regulation from your value education contest booklet. All of you can go to page number 14 in that booklet. We'll be solving that. And also that will be very amazing, very fun to solve it. In case you have any questions, you can ask there. Now I'm sharing my screen. Please let me know if you can see it. Yeah. Is it visible, friends? Okay. Thank you. So now it will be a very amazing activity. We'll be solving some questions together. So now all of you can, okay, I will increase the size as well. Yeah. So in case you have questions, just wait for 10 more minutes. We will solve 5 questions and then after that you can ask. So now friends, here you can see that under the heading health and regulation, the first question says, it says, in Vedic times, people slept early by 9 p.m. and woke up early in the morning, 1.5 hours before sunrise, and they all lived very healthy lives. But today, we are faced with so many diseases. What is the Lord's advice on how we can change our lifestyle so that we can live healthy lives? So my dear friends, I'm sure now all of you might be having a very good idea how to solve these questions. So for that, I will simply go to this verse number, Bhagavad Gita 6.17. Yeah, all of you are mentioning answers also. It's very good, but please wait for a few moments. I will tell you when to answer and then you can type in chat box. So now I will go to this verse in Bhagavad Gita. In case you have Bhagavad Gita with you can open the book or you can just follow me on the screen. I'll be sharing Bhagavad Gita on the screen as well. So now we will go to this verse number. What is the verse number? Verse number is 6.17. So here is the verse. Same verse with which I was telling you. Yukta har viharasya, yukta cheshtasya karmasu, yukta swapna vibhodasya, yogo bhavati dukkhaha. This is the verse and the translation. So now I will read translation for all of you. Please hear very attentively. It says, he who is regulated in his habit of eating, sleeping, recreation and work can mitigate all material pains by practicing the yoga system. Now we will go to the question again. So now friends, there are 4 options for us for this. The question simply says that what is Lord's advice for us when we should sleep and when we should get up. So let's see the options. The first option says, become regulated in sleep. That is, sleep early and wake up early morning. So what all of you feel, is it correct? Yes, this is correct. Now we'll go to the second option. Second option says, become regulated in recreation. Yeah, that is also correct. Third one says, become regulated in eating. That is, eat at fixed times. That is also correct. And the fourth option says, all of the above. So what should be the answer? All of you can put in chat box. Yes, it will be all of the above. Thank you. So we have successfully completed one question. Now we will go to second question. Now second question is very interesting. I'm sure all of you will love to do it. It says, encircle the food items which are in the mode of goodness and increase the duration of life, giving strength, health and happiness. So now I would request each one of you, as all of you can see on my screen, I have displayed to you some food items. All of you can write down in the chat box that which food items out of all of them we should eat, which are very good for health, like fish. Like here you can see the example of a fish. Fish we should not eat. Why? Because it does not come in the food mentioned in mode of goodness, and Krishna says that we should not eat it. Rather, we should simply eat food which are in mode of goodness and which gives a lot of health to us, like that. So like this, I have given you one example, like fish we should not eat. Fish, meat, eggs, all these things. But what we should eat, all of you can write down in the chat box. Yeah, all of the above is not the right answer. Someone of you is mentioning all of the above. Yeah, correct. Yes, thank you so much. I could receive hundreds of answers. That's very nice. But now we can stop. So now I will show you what all things we should eat and what all we should not eat. So here is the first one, milk. We should take milk. Second one is laddus. We should take laddus. Third one is fish. Oh, we should not take. Fourth one is greeny vegetables. We should take. Next one is fruit. We should definitely take. Next one is kind of some meat. We should not take. Next one is sugar. We should take. Next one is liquor, wine. We should never touch also. Next one is little difficult to understand. kind of something which is not in goodness, we should not take. Similarly, chicken, we should never take. Then comes egg, we should not take. Similarly, butter, we should take. It's very good for health. Similarly, cheese, we can take. Similarly, coffee, not very good for health. In fact, it creates addiction. In my office, I have seen those people who take coffee, they cannot live without coffee now. It's very difficult, like that. Similarly, rice, oh, we should take. Similarly, mushroom, we should not take. Mushroom is in mode of ignorance. Generally, doctors also say, if you want to remain very healthy, we can avoid mushrooms. Similarly, chili, we can take in a limited quantity, not very much. Similarly, green vegetables, we should take. Similarly, wheat, we should take. Like that, we can take chapatis made of wheat. They are very healthy and good, like that. So now, we have completed 2 questions very successfully. Now we will come to the 3rd question. And I want all of your focus again very much. We are going to read a newspaper article now. This article is very interesting. Yeah. So now many of you are asking questions regarding what to eat and what not to eat. So I will take all these questions in the end. Don't worry, we will have sufficient time for that as well. But now I want all of your focus to be on this newspaper article. And by the way, it's a real life story which had come in our newspaper. Now I will read this for all of you. It says, please hear very attentively. Huh? It says, my name is Suman. Now we'll read the article. Manisha was born to Rampal and Hilli Devi in a little village called Milkapur near Alwar, Rajasthan. At present age of 2 years, she is only 2 years old. When she learned how to speak, she told her parents, मेरा नाम सुमन नहीं है, मेरा नाम सुमन है, मुझे मनीषा मत बोलो. Now, for those of you who understands Hindi, you might have understood it. In case you don't understand Hindi, I will translate it in English for you. It says that, my dear father and mother, please don't call me Manisha. My name is Suman. Like that she is saying. As she grew older, she told that her father's name was Kamal and her mother was Santosh. She told that she stayed in a 3-storied building located near a Kamal Mandir. Even before she started going to school, she would tell colors of her school belt and tie. She also told that she died of typhoid in her previous life. The news about the girl spread and she met her old parents of her previous life. Kamal and Santosh became very happy seeing their Suman alive, but in a new body. Now both the parents started living together to raise this child. I believe all of you have understood the conversation, or what the newspaper article says. In case you have not, I will translate it for you in a minute. What happened once? One girl of 2 years old, her name was Manisha. She told her parents that my name is not Manisha, my name is Suman. And then her parents told, how come your name is Manisha? We only kept your name. And then she told, no, my name is Suman and I have different parents who lives at a different place. And she went that place and she recognized her parents. Also, she could tell, even though she had never went to school, she could tell the different colors of a tie, of a school tie, of a school belt, like that she could tell. So how is it possible? Now we will see, and it is a real life story. It came in our newspaper also. So now what we will see the questions now based on this. We only have 2 questions and I am sure all of you can answer that. So let's answer it together. So the first question is, read the newspaper article above and with the help of Bhagavad Gita verses 2.13 and 2.22, answer the following questions. So before going to the questions, now we will see the verses. Okay, many of you are writing something in chat. Yeah, so many of you are asking question that how she can remember her past life, how it is possible. So now the mystery will be revealed now. I will show you 2 verses and then you will understand why, how it is possible. Yes, so we'll go to the verses, verse number 2.13. So here it is mentioned in the question, verse number 2.13. Yeah, so I will recite this verse for all of you. Dehinosmin yatha dehe Kaumaram yovanam jara tatha dehantara praptir dhirastatra namuyati. So now this was a beautiful verse which was told by Krishna to Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita. I will read a translation for you as well. Translation says, as the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change. I believe you might have understood it to some extent, that at the time of death, our soul, Atma, it goes from one body to different body. So now we will go to the next verse, that is Bhagavad Gita. Here it is mentioned, 2.22. We'll go to this verse now. This also is very beautiful verse. If you want, you can recite with me. This says, Vasham Shijirnani Yatha Vihaya Navani Granati Naro Parani Tatha Sharirani Vihaya Jirnani Anyani Samyati Navani Dehi. So it says, as a person puts on new garments, like all of you can see, I am wearing a t-shirt. So it is saying the same thing. As a person puts on a new garments, yesterday I wore different t-shirt, today I am wearing different. So it is saying the same thing. As a person puts on new garments, giving up the old ones, the soul similarly accepts new material bodies, giving up the old and useless ones. Now we will go to the question. Now we have read both the translations from Bhagavad Gita. So now we will see the first question. So the first question says, मेरा नाम सुमन है, मुझे मनीषा मत बोलो. The girl said, or in English, my name is Suman, my name is not Manisha. What can we infer from the mentioned verse of Gita and from this incident? So now I will put my chat on. All of you can start typing the answers also. Yeah. So now the first option says, as a person puts on new garments, giving up the old ones, the soul similarly accepts new material bodies, giving up the old and useless ones. Is it correct? Yes, this is correct. I can see in chat box also, many of you are writing yes. We will go to the next option now. Second option says, we are not this body, but we are spirit soul. In short, this body which you are seeing right now, my eyebrows are there, my hairs are there, my skin is there. It is saying, I am not this body, all of this which you see, but I am spirit soul. Is this right or wrong? Please write down in chat box. Yes, this is right. This body which you are seeing right now, my face and everything, I am not this, I am a spirit soul. Now third option. As the embodied soul continuously passes in this body, from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. Is it correct that the soul goes from youth to boyhood to old age and then death happens and then again soul takes a new different body? Is it correct? All of you can write it. Yes, this is also correct. Now come the fourth option, all of the above. So what should be the answer for this question? D option, very correct. All of the above, because all the options are correct. So very much congratulations. We have completed 3 questions now. Now will come the fourth question. So fourth question says, it is also based on the same newspaper article which we just read. So now the question says, did reincarnation happen only for Suman, or will it happen only to some? You understood reincarnation? Reincarnation means a soul accepts a different body at the time of death. Like somebody dies at home. So then that soul, he gets a different body. So now the question is saying, I want all of you to be very attentive and hear it very clearly and try to answer it. This is very interesting. It says, did reincarnation happen only for Suman, or will it happen only to some? It is asking whether reincarnation only happens for some people or it is for everyone in this world. So let's go to the first option. First option says reincarnation happens only for a few people. Now, how many of you say this is correct? Reincarnation happens only for few people, not for everyone. Yes, all of you are very intelligent students. I could see many people are saying no or wrong. That is true. The first option is not correct. Reincarnation does not happen for only few people. It happens for everyone. Let's go to the second option. It says we cannot know about it. We cannot know about it. How many of you think it is right? Okay, I'll answer it, but let's go to the third option first. Third option says reincarnation will happen to everyone, including animals. Now you tell me how many of you will see that this option is right or wrong. All of you write in chat box quickly. Yes. Third option is true. Reincarnation will happen to everyone, including animals. Let's go to the fourth option. Humans only undergo it. Yes, all of you are correct. It is not true that only humans undergo. Everyone undergo reincarnation. So the right option is third option. Reincarnation will happen to everyone, including animals. So we have successfully completed 4 questions. Now we'll quickly come to fifth question. So the fifth question says, who fulfills the desire of the atomic soul? I will repeat the question. Who fulfills the desire of the atomic soul? And the question says, go to Bhagavad Gita 2.22. So now we will quickly go to that verse in Bhagavad Gita 2.22. I think we are on the same verse, right? Vashamsi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grananti naroparani. That one, that verse. Yeah, we are on that verse. So now we will read the translation. As a person puts on new garments, giving up old ones, the soul similarly accepts new material bodies, giving up the old and useless ones. But we have not got the answer, isn't? So what we will do now, we will read the purport to get the answer. So now here is the purport. I will read it for you. Change of body by the atomic individual soul is an accepted fact. Even the modern scientists who do not believe in the existence of soul, but at the same time cannot explain the source of energy of the heart, have to accept continuous changes of body which appear from childhood to boyhood, and from boyhood to youth, and again from youth to old age. From old age, the change transferred to another body. This has already been explained in the previous verse. So now we will look for our answer in this purport. Let's go to the next para. It says, transcendence of the atomic individual soul to another body is made possible by the grace of the super soul. So all of you can see this. It says that it is possible by the grace of the super soul. So now we will go to our question and see whether we have found the answer. So first option is, so now the question was that who fulfills the desire of the atomic soul? And the first option says his friends. Is it correct? Yeah, all of you are writing super soul. That's correct. The right answer is second option, super soul. So now we have completed 5 questions. Now only very 2 short questions are there. We'll quickly cover it. It says, the next question says, when Srila Prabhupada went to Massachusetts Institute of Technology, USA, he asked the student, you have department of physics, chemistry, mathematics. Is there any department which talks about the soul? Nobody could answer him. So what type of knowledge need to be asked in modern education to make it complete? So for this, we will go to Bhagavad Gita 10.4 and 5. So we'll quickly go and see. So I will quickly go to Bhagavad Gita 10.4 and 5. So it says, I will read translation for you directly. Intelligence, knowledge, freedom from doubt and delusion, forgiveness, truthfulness, control of the senses, control of the mind, happiness and distress, birth, death, fear, fearlessness, non-violence, equanimity, satisfaction, austerity, charity, fame, and infamy. So don't worry, we'll get the answer. All these various qualities of living entities are created by me alone. Krishna is saying. Now we'll go to next verse and see the translation of that also. It says, the 7 great sages, before them the 4 other great sages and the Manus came from me, born from my mind, and all the living beings populating the various planets descend from them. So you might have seen the word me comes so many times. So me means Krishna. So we'll see the options. Knowledge about different occupations, knowledge about software, knowledge about spirit, and knowledge about nuclear physics. So now the question was that when Srila Prabhupada is writing that, what do it mean? Yeah, all of you are already writing the C option is correct. Knowledge about spirit. Because knowledge about occupation is already there, software is already there, nuclear physics is already there. Knowledge about soul is not there. Very good. Now we have completed our questions. Only one last question. I know time is almost up, but we will take this last question. This is very interesting. It says, now please hear me very clearly. This is the last question and we have completed 5 questions very successfully. This is the last one. It says, in the parrot golden cage analogy, if the parrot is compared to the soul and the cage to the body, which of the following is true? So now in case many of you don't know, oh, you are already putting the answer. Okay, so I will just explain it in a while. Parrot golden cage analogy, it very simply says that let's say I have one parrot with me and I have one cage around that parrot. So now I keep that parrot inside the cage and I don't give anything to eat to the parrot, and I will simply take care of the cage outside. I will try to polish it. I will try to clean it with water, with soap, but I am not giving anything to eat to parrot. Now what will happen to that parrot? So the answer is, he will die. Similarly, we'll see the options. The first option says, we should take care of the body very nicely, but caring for the spirit soul is not so important. So what do you feel? Is it right or wrong? You have to write down whether is it right or wrong in the chat box. Yes, it is wrong. All of you are very intelligent. Second option is, just as the parrot is neglected by the person, in the same way we are neglecting our soul. And that is why we are not feeling satisfaction of the heart. How many of you feel this is correct? Yes, this is correct. We'll go to the third option. Now, how it is correct also I will tell you. Modern civilization is busy neglecting the soul and just caring for the bodily comforts. That is why even though people have money, cars, home, etc., they are still not happy. How many of you feel this is right? Correct. All of you have written correct. Very nice. And the D option says both B and C. Yes, correct. So the option will be option D. So well done. Very much congratulations to each one of you. We have completed 7 questions spotless. So now I'm sure all of you must be very confident how to solve this booklet as well. It's very simple. Just go to the verse mentioned against the question from Bhagavad Gita and just read the translation. In case you get the answer from the translation, well and good. In case you don't, then go further and read the purport also. Very simple, like this. So we have completed our task for today. We have seen a complete topic along with 7 difficult questions. And I'm sure all of you, and I'm very happy actually, all of you answered them very well. Almost all of you answered rightly. So I congratulate each one of you. Today is Friendship Day also, and you have learned that who is our most dear friend, that is Super Soul, who is sitting in the heart, like that. So now we have completed our discussion. We have completed all the 7 questions.